Good afternoon. Okay, let's get into it. October 13th. I hope you're having a good day. How pathetically scanty my self-knowledge is compared with, say, my knowledge of my room. There is no such thing as observation of the inner world as there is of the outer world. Franz Kafka, 1883 to 1924. Daily reflection reveals that much of the behavior that causes grief is in being reactive. To what extent we are at the mercy of the subconscious is, by its very nature, impossible to say. We look to the results for clues. Why do we have knee-jerk reactions to people and situations? Is it based on programming? Transactional analysis is a school of psychology that charts how we trigger and are triggered by others. We each have 3 ego states called parent, adult, and child. Our adult ego state is our resting state, logical, reasoning, and functional. In child ego state, we feel unabashedly. We cry when we are sad, scream when mad, and laugh when we are happy. Parent ego state finds us nurturing, pampering, and protecting and or critical, judgmental, and controlling. These 3 states, parent, adult, child, have nothing to do with our roles in life. A 7-year-old can be in a parent or adult ego state, just as an 80-year-old can be a child. For the next few days, we will look at how we operate in each of these ego states and how other people's ego states trigger us. In the adult ego state, we are free of triggers, reaction, and we work through problems systematically. Then someone says, "You should do it this way." Critical parent ego state. And we react without thinking, saying, "Who asked for your opinion? I'm doing just fine." Perceived criticism triggers our rebellious child ego state. If we aren't triggered, we stay in adult ego state and say, "You may be right. I will consider every option." We can't ever be in 2 ego states at the same time. By identifying triggers, we can lessen the tendency to react and develop the habits and skills to consider alternate, less reactive ways of responding. Who are the people who trigger me or make me reactive? What situations get me off my game? Yeah, so yesterday was a tough day. I told you that I saw the carts, right? Yeah, so it was very triggering, probably because, well, I used to do that. Yeah, so it was at that point in that state, I think I wasn't a child. I was a child. Rebellious child state. I wanted them to go away, right? I wanted to see that. Then there was the adult in me that wanted to be logical and say, "Why are you doing this? It's not safe for you to be out here because it can hurt other people." And there's nothing holding back a child molester from sitting in that position of cart witnessing. Yeah, so I was in 2 different ego states at that point. I really like this. I'm going to put 2 of the videos that I found on this information on transactional analysis. I found them to be so extremely helpful. And I found that I have it's important for us not to be judgmental of ourselves when we're learning about things and about people around us, not to be judgmental about people around us as well, which was really helpful, because when I talk to you about my mom or my family, I feel like if you look at past videos, you'll hear the feelings that I'm feeling and where I am and what state I'm in. I think I did a video about my mother. I definitely was in a adult ego state. And then from my perspective, and now I don't have, I had a very critical parent, and that was just something that I could see, right? Am I a critical parent? Yes, I am. So I don't necessarily like that about me. A controller? Yes, I am. I don't like that about myself. But you can do that. You can see yourself in that transitional analysis without judgment. Because I don't necessarily think that's always bad. It also brought out that this critical parent, right, is a great mother bear. She will protect you. And my mother was like that. I mean, she tended to be the perpetrator as well. So she could do emotionally damaging things to all three of us in the family. But she also could be a great protector. So strange how that works out. Yeah, I like Yaz. So I'm going to put her information down. You can look it up and you can do more research on transactional analysis. Transactional analysis. It's very, very interesting. And right off the get-go, she goes into explaining a critical parent in the second video that I'll put down. And that was what I could identify with ultimately. I had no problems identifying with that. I like how you can have friends that are critical parents. I do not have any critical parents in my life right now. I don't have friends that are like that. And I did in the organization, I did have a lot of critical parents that I felt comfortable with, but I couldn't stay a long period of time with them. We had a sister who was very, we loved her. I loved her. I love her. And she was somebody that she was very close to us. We loved her very much, but I could only take very small portions of her because she could be too critical of people. And then, yeah, I couldn't, I loved her, but she was tough. And I sometimes thought, my mom was not around. My mom discarded me because her criticalness over the way she was and the controlling person that she was. She dumped you if you didn't do things exactly her way. And I didn't always want to do things my mother's way. I wanted to be able to be my own person. And so I think living without a certain structure, right? Right now, I don't have any structure. I get to do what I want. I get to think what I want. I get to say what I want, to an extent. I don't want to be painful to anyone, but I have my own authenticity that I can find in this process. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to, right? I think we come out of this trying to look for authenticity. Where are we in this? What do we go by? I didn't necessarily have a book, right, to go and say, hey, what are I come with a layer of problems, a multi-layer of problems. So finding my way is a challenge, and it's also an adventure. It's an adventure trying to figure it out. Yeah, so You can change your story, right? And there's a system of feelings that we have accompanied by related patterns of behavior or set patterns of behavior that we had in the past. So for me, not being like my mom, recognizing when I'm starting to act like her. And I not only had a mother figure, but I had this figure that was bigger than me that set this pattern up that, according to whoever was on stage at a Kingdom Hall, they set that pattern up for me in my mind. And now it's chinking it all down and trying to figure out, okay, no set pattern, no set structure. Now it's my turn to take over and figure out what that is. Like I said, it's an adventure. I hope this helps you. I'm having a better day, as you can tell. I am trying to get things off the computer and then put it on my, trying to take things off my iPhone and switch. I do videos, so I did videos for a couple years now, and I never took it off the phone. I have like 2% left. So my mind is a little fatigued because I'm not a computer programmer. I'm not a technical person. It's learning all this stuff too. So, and it's all challenging, but it's all wonderful. I've learned a lot in the last couple years by not giving myself structure, by just letting myself learn as I go, and then taking the time to not worry about having to do it a certain way. So, but I'm also really slow. I hope this helped you on your healing journey. Follow your bliss and be good humans.